Welcome to the Masterclass, how to turn your story into your entire business, okay? In this masterclass, I'm going to teach you as a spiritual entrepreneur, somebody who has gifts, who has inherited wisdom, who has stories for days. I'm going to teach you how to turn it into a simple, scalable, tangible business model. Now, in this masterclass, I am going to break out the whiteboard. We are going to get into strategy. I'm going to tell you the pieces and the parts that you need to actually build this for yourself. Now, I know that masterclasses nowadays get a really bad rap. Number one, people would rather just doom scroll and get instant dopamine hits of TikToks or 60-second clips. But I promise to make this tangible, specific, and something that you can walk away with while also trying to do it in the least amount of time as possible. Before we get into this class, I need you to get a pen, a paper, a notebook, something to write on because you're going to want to take notes. I'm going to make this an actual class as if you were a student, a client sitting in front of me, and I was teaching a class, okay? So you're gonna need that. If you have not yet, you might wanna just grab the $97 offer that was at the checkout, which is how to turn all paths lead to Rome, right? Which is all paths lead to results, which is my signature scalable framework, my methodology, and it comes with a full workbook of what we're going to talk about today. So if you want the workbook and you want 7+ hours of this broken down with a live Q&A of how I coached people, 3 different business owners through this in real time, you're going to want to grab that $97 offer. It's also included in the membership. So if you upgraded to become a member of the Fire Pit, it's already in there in your portal with the workbook so you can go through it in full. So let's get in, okay, to this class. Now, I am going to tell you who I am. I am going to tell you my story because that's literally what I do and what I teach so that I can show you in real time how to tie that into your business. And I am going to pitch you at the end of this. I am going to tell you about my Breadwinner Energy Academy, which is my signature scalable program that helps you turn your business into to help you turn your story into a simple, scalable business model. That is a 12-month program where we build it together in 90 days. And then for the next 9 months after your 90 days, I coach you, mentor you, guide you, support you on how to grow the business, how to grow with relationships, how to grow with collaborations, no ads, no overhead. And I help you become the version of yourself required to actually hold a scalable business model as a spiritual entrepreneur, because I don't teach business the way that other business coaches do. I am a generator, but I don't teach generator strategies, right? I'm a business strategist, I'm a psychic, but I don't teach you a one size fits all. I teach you the methodology, the model, which we're going to get into today, and how you actually blend this with your energy, your magic, your gifts, your skills, and how do we embed rest into this? How do we embed into this being a real human? Because as a healer, as a spiritual entrepreneur, what I know to be true about you is that you are still and always in this like healing underworld initiation phase. That's just what I know to be true about you because that's who I am, okay? I'm an 8th house sun. I'm a woman of the underworld. I'm an alchemist. I'm a shadow worker. And what I can tell you is my entire 33 years on this earth has been nothing but initiation over and over and over again. You are always being initiated in some way. You're going through the deepest parts of healing work. Now, I've also been diagnosed with complex trauma, complex PTSD. And because of that, every single day of my life is I have to actively and consciously work on my own thought patterns. I have to consciously decide how I'm going to think and feel. It is not, for me, it is not just easy to be like, oh, think positive thoughts and everything will be better and just always being high vibe. That's not actually how I'm coded. So because I know most of you here, if you're a healer, if you're a spiritual entrepreneur, if you're a lineage liberator, if you're an alchemist, a black sheep, I know that that is you too. I know that being this like high vibe, never going through the walking the darker path, like I know that's just not who you are. So your business has to actually allow you space to do that while it still makes impact to other people. Okay, that is the most important part of building a spiritual based business. As a spiritual entrepreneur, it's the most important part is, does it actually work for you? Does it match you? Does it fit your energy? Does it fit the way that you live your life? While also does it make the impact? Because the truth is, you also are really lit up about the work you do. You love what you do. You love being in the room with other people and clients and changing lives. It literally sets your soul on fire. And if you could do more of that, while you have more time and freedom for your life, while you're actually making the money required to resource yourself for healing, to resource yourself to make a bigger impact, that is your dream life. Your dream life is not, how do I have this like business that is a game of business that makes money, that's like the numbers game, the tech game, the strategy game. And that's not me either. I've never been that way. And because I know that's true about you, that's how I built my entire business model. So who am I? My name is Tay Daniels. Tay Noctonic is actually what I go by, which is my born name is Taylor Noctonic, but I go by Tay Noctonic. And that is because I am indigenous. People are like, where does Noctonic come from? I am Native American and I am now married, but I do lead with my indigenous name because I am creating a legacy as an indigenous woman in online business who is making an impact for myself, my bloodline, and for other women who represent as being marginalized or a woman of color, or just in general, you are representing for your lineage. And I started my first business 10 years ago. I was 23 years old. I was 7 months pregnant. I had $100 to my name. I had wrecked credit. I had no degree, and I was raised by my single mother, and we lived in a trailer my entire life, and I did not come from money. I did not come from success. I did not come from education. I was just a woman who was on a mission to do something better and bigger with my life. When I was 7 months pregnant, I was at a 9 to 5, and I said, I'm going to leave this 9 to 5 and I'm going to start my own business. Do I have any proof that this can work for me? No, I do not, but I also don't have money for daycare and I want to be at home with my daughter. And so high and low, I searched for online jobs and I became a virtual assistant. And 2 years into being a virtual assistant, I was married to someone in the military who was abusive, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. He made money. I did not. And in those 2 years, I had decided that long story short, I was going to leave this relationship. He was leaving to go out to the casino to drink, smoke, do drugs, whatever he was going to do. He had just left the military. And I had put my daughter to bed. I locked myself in her bathroom waiting for him to leave. And I promised myself on that bathroom floor that I would make my own money. I would have my own freedom. And I would never, ever, ever be in a situation like this again. And today, that has manifested into breadwinner energy, my trademarked business, my legacy of helping other women become the breadwinner of their own life, to create wealth and restoration for your bloodline through your magic, through your gifts, through your story, through your initiation. Every single thing you've walked through has led you to this moment to change lives. And you were initiated first. You had to go first because that was what you had to walk through and experience over and over and over again to be able to heal, lead, guide, mentor other people who have been through whatever it is that you've been through. Okay, that's what that created. Now, 6 months after that happened, I had a booked out agency. I niched down, became a booked out agency, and that was in 2018. In 2020, COVID hit, the wedding industry kind of plummeted, and I was already consulting, so I just naturally moved into coaching. And since 2020, I've been a coach. In 2022, I retired my agency, and I have scaled my coaching business to be a global 7-figure brand where I help women build simple businesses, scale businesses, more impact, more income, more time for your life so that you can be the breadwinner of your bloodline. And I do it in 3 ways. So we have our first way to enter my world is through the fire pit, which is my membership. This is where we do shadow work, lineage work, your purpose. We help you magnetize. Now, this sounds woo. We help you magnetize the life you want, but we do it through your electromagnetic field. I have been shadow work coaching and identity work and self-concept coaching for years. I love it because every single thing comes down to the way that you think, the way that you feel, the way that you show up, the beliefs you have, the programming you have, and your electro field around your body radiates off of you what you think, what you feel, what you believe, and that is what you attract back. Okay. And so that's the work we do. That is the foundational work we do because when I was coaching and I hit my first ever 6-figure launch in 2024, the very beginning of 2024, what I had been doing was helping women build group coaching programs. And we were coaching 30 to 50 women in a room to build and launch their group coaching programs. And as we're doing that, I was always coaching them on their mindset, their shadows, their patterns, their beliefs. and the set of beliefs they had, and that was what they were leading with. And so what would happen was we would walk hundreds of people through this process, and there would be a group of women who got really big, fast results. There would be a group of women who got no results, and then there would be a path in the middle who got some results. Now, everybody was following the same path. Now, of course, there's people who just like didn't show up and do the work, but everyone was following the same path. And as I was watching people go through this process, and I was coaching women every week, it was very clear the women who led with their story, who led with their lived experience, who leaded right with their culture, who led with this energy of I know what I do, I'm confident in what I do. They led with the energy of I'm here to make big impact and change lives. They always made more money. They always signed more clients versus the woman who was skill based, who was only focused on the skill, who was only focused on or something very intangible. The women who were so in mind drama of how they didn't believe high ticket could work for them. They didn't believe this model could work for them. They had so much mind drama. They weren't getting the same results. It was the same process for same types of businesses, but that was the split. And that was when I knew at that moment that unless women are getting the coaching that's required to reprogram the way that you think and feel, which allows you to have whatever result you want, there's no amount of strategy that would work. I burnt my entire business down during that period to rebuild my business from my roots, from my lineage, from my ultimate understanding of what my gifts were, my skill, mixed with what my story was, mixed with how do I make this clear, simple, tangible. Okay, so that's the fire pit, that's the membership, that's level one. You go in and you do that work. Uncover your purpose, your roots, your story, your lineage, and the shadows that are holding you back from having the life and business you want. Level two is Academy. That's what we're talking about here today, which is we turn your story into a simple, scalable business model. That's the process I'm going to walk you through on the whiteboard here shortly. And then we go into licensing and leadership, where you license under Breadwinner Energy, the trademark, and you become a licensed leader and you scale with other women. So you go through a process of 6 weeks. You obtain your license, and then we put you in a leadership room. This is where we hire, we promote you on our social channels, we put you in a public directory, you launch together, you co-work together, you promote each other in the room. So you are literally building your entire business on relationships. You are leading in that room as a leader of whatever your skill is, and you guys scale together. So that is how my business works. Okay, now let's get into today's process. Okay, I know that most of you have probably been in this industry for years. I come across so many women who are like, I've literally been in business for 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, and I love what I do. I know I'm gifted. I have so many clients that tell me I've changed their lives. And also, I feel like I'm always one step forward, two steps back. My work is too intimate to scale. It cannot be packaged in a traditional way that you've been taught. And you're always looking for the next strategy. You're always looking for how basically to fit into an industry that you don't actually want to fit into and shouldn't want to fit into to make your business work. You don't love business, but the only way to learn business is from people who do love business. And it just has not worked for you. And you've been in this constant cycle of like, I'm going to try Reels, and then I'm going to try Threads, and then I'm going to try YouTube, and then I'm going to launch a podcast, and then I'm going to throw out this offer and this low ticket thing and this thing, and then I'm going to do free readings. And everything you do is kind of like you're waving in the wind. There's not like a clear path that you and your business are known for. So then when it comes to, let's say you're like, okay, I'm going to do collaborations now. You book a collaboration that brings in people, but then you're not really solidified in what you do, so they're not really sure in what you do. And then you're like, here's this reading, and here's this other thing, and here's this other thing. But they could get those anywhere because it's a skill, and it doesn't actually connect to like who you are and why you're the obvious choice to hire, right? It doesn't make them say like, wow, I really need to be in the room. Now, then you are like, well, I want to speak on stages. I want to write a book. I want to speak, at summits. I want to be a podcast guest. But you're not actually known for anything because people don't book on their stages for people who lead with skills. And then if you do lead with your story, but there's no way to connect it back to your business, now you're just bringing people into your world and none of it actually makes sense. You're overworking. You're constantly working. Even when you're not working, you're always thinking about the thing that's missing in your business. You feel like you don't actually have freedom because, again, you're always tied to thinking about the business. And you're just like, I just want to know one simple thing. Where do I go? What do I say? What am I known for? How do I bring people into my world? How do I scale it while making impact? How do I make more money for more resources for my life, right? And to grow? How do I just make it really simple? And I'm going to show you today in my method. It's called All Paths Lead to Rome. Now, most of you are currently in All Paths Lead to Burnout, which is you're doing all the things in all the places, talking to all the people, but you can't clearly articulate what it is you do in a simple way. Now, when you don't know exactly what you do, what the tangible result is, then your business is just a lot of woo feelings, buzzwords, and um, how do I want to say this? It's like what I see you guys say. I have notes over here, so that's what I'm looking at. But I hear you say, like, I help you become an energetic match for your desires. I help you embody your highest self. I heal your nervous system. I help you step into your power, right? Which is like, okay, for a lot of us, we might know what that means, but that doesn't make me say, oh my God, let me hire you. Oh my God, let me spend $2,000, $5,000 on an offer, right? So then, you guys, what you do is you're like, okay, well, I'm going to do one-to-one coaching and I'm going to have you book a call. Because if you book a call, on the call, I'll be like, okay, what's your problem? I can solve that. I'm going to like custom create this thing for you. And then if you book, I will shapeshift into whatever it is that you need so that you get a result. And now that is the thing, right? You do that, you get the client result, they feel really good. You're like, okay, then you go to the next person and the next person, the next person. And over the span of like years of helping a bunch of people, you've gotten people results, but you're like, I don't exactly know what I'm meant to do or like what my one thing is. So I'm gonna like talk about this thing and that thing and that thing and have this offer and that offer. And what happens is all paths lead to burnout because now you're like, okay, there's only one of me. There's a ceiling on my income, my impact, because I can only serve so many one-to-one people. My messaging is all over the fucking place because I'm talking about all the things for all people. And I can't actually build a simple, tangible business model because I don't know what I would be known for because there's so many things that I'm known for. Who is like, yep, totally relate. This is me, right? So then you'll be like, oh, I help my client. I ask you guys, like, what do you do? What's the result? What's the outcome? And you're like, I help my clients feel more aligned and confident in their business. Who's hiring you for aligned confidence, right? Okay. Or you're saying, like, I help you find clarity around your purpose or empowered to show up authentically. I'm a certified trauma-informed coach and somatic practitioner with 8 years of experience helping women heal. People don't care about your certifications. People don't care about your skill. People don't care about these buzzwords. People need you to speak plain, simple English to them in a really clear, specific, tangible way, which would look like I help women who have survived abuse build a business from their story so they never have to depend on anyone for money again. Clear, specific, tangible. Okay. I help psychics and healers charge their gifts. Charge what their gifts are actually worth and sign clients without explaining themselves to death. I still don't even love that. I would say it's like I help psychics and healers charge double what they're currently charging with a signature scalable group coaching program and sign clients without ads, right? That is super specific and clear and tangible. I help cycle breakers turn let me see, what are you guys saying? I help cycle breakers turn the thing their family told them to hide into an offer that sets their bloodline free. Close. Like, I think that's really close, right? We would want to get like more specific and more tangible. I grew up watching my mom with work 3 jobs, still not have enough. And I swore I'd never live like that. And then I did. And now I figured out how to actually get out of it. And that is what I teach. Like, that would be a part. Okay. Why do we need to figure out the clear, simple, scalable, tangible result? Is because it builds the rest of your business. It builds Rome. Until you know what that thing is, you're going to just keep throwing out offers, low ticket, free this, free that, live that, reading here, reading there, do this, do that. No one's following you. And if they do follow you, it's like you're dripping in here and there. It's like you're dripping in, like a person will find you and they might like you, but then it's not, again, it doesn't grow. It doesn't grow fast enough. And any strategy you put behind it is getting the same result because, again, it's not clear, specific, and tangible. Okay. So the first thing that you would need to do is you would need to go through your story. You would need to comb through your story, okay? You would need to comb through your roots, your childhood, where you came from, what that is, your culture, whatever that is, okay? Your lineage, and then you would need to go through your lived experience. Inside the fire pit, the membership, that we have something called lineage codes, where I walk you through that entire process of unpacking your story, your lineage, your roots, your culture, all in one, okay? So if you're already in the membership, go there and do that. That's going to help you uncover the parts of your story because your story tells you everything about your business. Okay. So if you know your story, which is literally a version of you, who you used to be, then what you're going to want to do from that story is you're going to build a bridge. Okay. So the bridge is who you used to be, how you used to feel, where you were in your life, what you were feeling, what you were thinking, what you were experiencing, and what you've been initiated through over and over and over and over. Okay. This initiation has been like your death and your rebirth, your void. You had experienced the same patterns, the same people, the same relationships, the same like up and downs with money or whatever that thing is until you finally cracked the code to change your life. Okay. And people will pay you to walk them across this bridge. Your ideal client, your soulmate client, is a version of who you used to be. And you are always speaking to this version of who you used to be. Okay. Then we have to get a clear, specific, tangible result of how you help people. Why would they walk across the bridge? They're not going to walk across the bridge and pay you $2,000 to $5,000 to walk with them across this bridge for you to be like, I'm going to help you feel confident. She's going to be like, okay, you want me for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months to go through this process with you and pay you $2,000, $5,000 to be more confident. The value is not there, and I'm not doing that. It's not clear, it's not specific, it's not tangible. I don't even know if it's for me. I don't know, like, is it solving a pain point? Is it creating a desire? She's not doing that. Okay. Now you're like, I'm a somatic trained professional with 10 years of experience. That's great. But again, how does this solve my problems? How does this give me a result? What is the result? Why would I keep walking across the bridge with you unless we make it clear, specific, and tangible? Okay. Or you guys lead with your skill, which is like hypnotherapy. Okay, hypnotherapy. So you're like, in 3 months, I'm going to give you hypnotherapy because I'm a somatic trained hypnosis with 10 years of experience. And when we leave, you're going to be more confident. There's other hypnotherapists in the industry who are maybe trained, who maybe are somatic practitioners who also can help with confidence. There is nothing different about you to them. Nothing. Nothing. So what happens is a lot of you get into imposter syndrome. I can't charge that. There's so many other people doing that. Blah, blah, blah. It's because you haven't clearly identified your story, your roots, your culture, your lived experience, and your initiation as the thing that no one else can copy because there's literally nobody else that has your story, your culture, your lived experience, and has packaged it in the way that you've packaged it and teaches it in the way that you teach it. Nobody. There's nobody else. So you have to stop leading with who you are as like your certifications or like your degrees. You have to stop leading with your skill and you have to stop leading with fluffy words about feeling good. We need clear, specific, tangible, okay? So instead of saying like, here are 5 tips to raise your vibration this week, you could say, I charged $50 for readings 2 years ago for 2 years because I thought nobody would pay me. And then one woman paid me $500 without even booking a consultation call. And I realized that my price was never actually the problem, but it was me. It was this. Here's what I did. Here's what changed. Here's what changed for me. Here was the number one thing that I had to uncover, unpack, whatever. People are like, oh, wow, right? Micro specific story into whatever it is you do. So first and foremost, we need to get clear, okay? Instead of you will help, I will help you feel, Jesus, more aligned and confident. You would say, let's see, in your business. Okay, if you came to me and you're like, I help women feel aligned and confident in their business, we would first and foremost go through your story, right? Like, what was your biggest pain points? What was your biggest pain in your ass, in your rib? And what did you deeply, deeply desire? And what changed for you? Yeah. Now, if you guys have this, if you have the All Paths Lead to Results mini course with workbook, the roots section has like a full breakdown, like a full page of questions to help you understand your story. The pain, the desires, the skill, like all of this combined into one story, right? That's also in the membership. Okay. I would go through that in lineage codes first. to really understand what was my pain? What was I feeling all the time? What did I deeply want? What changed for me? What did I do? What were the steps I took? What worked? What didn't work? Why did it work? Why did it not work? Okay, that's going to lead you to a clear, specific, tangible result. So then you could say, um, you'll be able to say exactly what you do in one sentence. So the right person always knows how to find you and wants to pay you. You could say something like that. Let's see. You will have one clear offer built from your story so that you can sell every single day without ever building again or starting over. Right? Okay. Once you've identified what your story is, you've identified who you were, what you walked through, and you're able to combine that with your like mastery and with your skill and with your so that, which is I help you do specific tangible thing so that you feel confident in said thing, right? Like the feelings matter. It matters that you connect people how they're going to feel because people care about how they're going to feel. But people don't just buy feelings. People buy clear, simple, tangible results to feel a certain way because they think this result will make them feel this way and they want to feel this way. People don't just buy feelings, right? Which is why we can't just lead with a story because that's just feelings, and we can't just lead with the skill because people don't just buy skills. They buy the combination of your story plus your skill equals a clear, specific, tangible result so that they feel and it achieves the feelings they actually want to feel, right? Or the results they actually want to achieve. And if you can find that core thing, you will build the rest of your business around it. And I'm going to show you. Now, inside the Breadwinner Energy Academy, that's the very first thing we do. When you join, we have 2 live events every single year. Okay, so you're in there for 12 months, and in that 12 months, you're going to be live with me twice. That is a live all day, 1 to 2 day retreat. If you join before June 18th, you get the 2-day live retreat with me on the 18th and the 19th. Okay, so if you're joining in between the live events, you're just going to watch the last live event so that you can download the entire program into your brain and into your business in 2 days. And your job, once you join, the first week you join, is to download that workbook and sit down and watch those 2 days live or attend the next 2 days live, whatever comes first, okay? And in that, you're going to get the whole program in those 2 days. The very first thing we're doing, uncovering your story and your skill and making it clear, specific, tangible, so that we can build the rest of your business around it. Okay? That's all you're doing for the first, I would say 1 to 2 weeks. After that, the next 90 days together, we're building the model I'm about to put on the board. We're building it. And then for the next 9 months after that, you are growing it with collaborations. You are getting paid to speak, or you're speaking on podcasts, you're guest coaching, bundles, summits. Again, you're growing the business. You just know, I'm going to show you, you know, like who you're talking to, how to talk to them. You're growing your audience and you're filling them into your model to make more money. And you're becoming the version of you that is required to have and hold that amount of business, that amount of success, that amount of income, that amount of impact while having freedom. Okay? That's what happens in Academy. 1 year, 5,997 for the year, 12 months payment of 555. Okay? And if you're like, I'm not there yet, like mentally, physically, emotionally, I'm not ready to build all this yet because I still feel like I need to like uncover what I do, uncover my purpose, uncover my skill, uncover my story, and that's going to take me a while. Join the Fire Pit membership. That's where we will start doing that together. Okay. Okay. So let's build out the model. Once you have this result built, your entire business is built on this. Okay. Because it's for one person, which is who you used to be, right? Okay. So it's for one person and it mixes skill plus story to equal results so that, and that equals feelings. Okay. Okay. Once we've achieved this, you're going to build a signature, scalable offer from it. One offer that's at least $2,000. Now, for some of you, you're like, I can't charge $2,000. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And if you charge less than $2,000 for this, people will perceive the value as not enough. Okay? If I tell you that I'm going to help you turn your story into a signature, scalable offer and business model so you have more time, more money, more impact, more freedom, and you become the version of yourself that can scale a business and never have to build it again. Because from now until multi-high six, even seven figures, it's built. You will be booked to speak, you will be known for what you do, and you will make more money and more impact from this model. And I only charged $1,000 for it. You're going to perceive she's not going to be there. It's not going to be that good. I'm not going to get the results. If that values at least $10,000. I know that because that's my program, and it used to be a $10,000 offer, and now I turned it into a bridge offer. That's a whole other business concept of scaling that we're not talking about today. Okay, so if you go to the dealership and you go to buy a brand new vehicle, and that new vehicle retails for 80, 90, $100,000, and they're like, today it's 30 grand. Why is it 30 grand? What's wrong with this car? Why do you guys want to get rid of this car so bad? I'm already assuming something is wrong with the car, or I'm about to get fucked over. But if the car retails for $90,000 and today it's $80,000, that is a perceived value of discount, right? That's a discount. So many of you are undercharging when you have the skills and you have the story and you have the results and you change lives, and you're undercharging and packaging it on these $20 offers because you think that will sell faster and easier, and it doesn't. It doesn't. People put perceived value to what they're paying. Now, if you do, however, get people in your offer that is wildly undercharged, you know what happens? It is not a match for the work you're doing. It's not a match for the results you're getting. So what happens? You call in people who want to complain, who are the victims, who want you to change them, who want you to fix them, who don't do the work, who don't show up, who fall off after 2 or 3 months and jump to the next thing because they did not put skin in the game. This creates a business model. If you undercharge, it creates a business model that feels like codependency, and it's exhausting, and it puts you right back in the all paths lead to burnout because you are not an energetic match with clients, and it feels like nobody actually wants to be here, so I don't want to be here. Nobody's actually getting results, so this isn't fun, and now I feel like my program's wrong because no one's getting the results, when in reality it's because it's not an energetic match price-wise for what you actually have to offer. So in Academy, I not only help you package it into a $2,000 plus offer, I help you become the version of you that feels like that is an energetic match, and I teach you how to sell it without ads. I don't do fucking cold DMs. I don't do this weird bullshit that people teach. I don't even teach consult calls. Now, I think consult calls are great. If you love them, you should do them. And I know how to walk you through a consult call because we closed 98% in our agency on consults. But I don't force sales strategies. We do embodiment-based selling. Embodiment-based selling is built on you as a real human who speaks real English. And if you can get your business in a place where it's like this and you speak just English to people, I'm this, I used to be this, I was this, and this is who I used to be, this is how I used to feel, here's what I did, here's what I do, here's what I'm a master at, here's how I changed lives, I had a client, this is what I helped her do, and in 6 months, this is what happened. You just speak plain English to people, and you're like, this is what I went through, girl. I know what it's like to be in an abusive relationship, pregnant, young, broke, no money, no trust fund, no help, no support. Nobody believed in me. Everyone thought this was a terrible idea, and spent the next 10 years figuring it out while raising 2 kids because I'm a full-time mom without child support or without child care. My family is hours upon hours away. I don't have anyone to help. We just moved here 5 months ago, so I don't even know anybody. And my husband works all the time because he loves his job. I know what it's like, right? And then you tell people that, and you're like, and I'm going to help you build a business that allows you to capitalize on your magic, your skills, your gifts, right? And spend more time with your kids, not be so tied to your business 24/7 that you have no freedom, and get clients impact. Inside Breadwinner Energy Academy, we have a handful of women who are at 9 to 5s, okay? And they don't come to live calls because they are at their 9 to 5. And they are still getting results. They're messaging in, they're DMing me, just got a new client, booked out my business, booked out my retreat, booked out my offer, tripled my pricing. They're literally watching the replays. They're getting results even when I'm not physically in the room, because that's how the program has been designed and set up for scale. While also there is an element of intimacy. There's 2-day live retreats with me where we do all day coaching together. There's 2 calls, 90 minutes every month where I not only teach on the board and teach strategy in those calls, I also have time for Q&A, feedback, and I give you feedback on your business and the questions you have. And then we have the schoolroom chat where you can ask questions in between calls. It's built for results and intimacy. Okay? Now, the rest of your business is built from this place because now you know who you used to be, and who your ideal client is. You always know who you're talking to. You always know what the thing is, which people don't really care as much about the skill as they do about the story and the result. Because think of it this way. If you hire someone to help you get a result, okay? Like if I help you turn your story into a scalable, signature scalable business model, okay? And I'm like, and in there, we're going to talk about simple funnels, and I'm going to tell you about simple tech, and I'm going to tell you about, I don't know, something you don't want to do. You're like, I don't give a fuck about any of that. Is it going to change my life? Yes or no? Is it going to make me more money? Yes or no? Is it going to make me more impact? Yes or no? Is it going to make me more freedom? Yes or no? And I'm like, yes, girl, it will. And you're like, okay, I want that, right? I want that. Okay, so you're willing to walk with me across the bridge to have the results you want. Yeah, you're willing to do the work because you want the result. But if I led this entire training with skill and how to build a group coaching program and how to build a simple scalable offer, and the whole training was just like, I know exactly how to build an offer. Here's how you do it. Here's how we create methodology, which we will get into in Academy, right? Like you will learn how to do methodology work and how to know your steps and how to know your modules and what goes in, like, and how to price it. Like we'll do all that. But if I led this whole class with that, you'd be like, this is fucking boring and I don't care. Anyone can teach me this, honestly, really, right? But because I've talked a lot more about who I am, what I've been through, how I help my clients, and the result that you get, you're willing to go over the bridge with me. You guys have to stop leading with your skill. Okay, so let's get to the rest of this because I know that you guys have lives and things to do. Okay, so if this is what your entire business is built on and your signature scalable offer down here is built on this, now when you go to do something low ticket, if you want to drop a low ticket offer, it needs to be for this one person and based around whatever results you get them. And it needs to be based around your story. Okay, so I just told you guys, I have a $97 offer, which is how to build this for your business. All paths lead to Rome, how to build it for your business with a workbook for $97. Okay, it's a mini version of, it's a mini version of Academy and an extended version of this class because it goes in depth. Okay, it's like 7+ hours of training and a workbook and a Q&A so you can watch me do it in real time with other people's businesses. Okay, and if you buy that, it also leads you down to Academy. Okay, then if I do a free masterclass, hello, this is where we are right now, right? It is for you as a spiritual business owner who wants to make your business more tangible, right? Who wants your story to be your entire business model, and then that leads you also to Academy. And it also leads you to this low ticket offer, which leads you to Academy. Now, if you listen to my podcast, YouTube, it's always going to be for my spiritual entrepreneurs, my healers, my alchemists, my black sheep women who want to build a signature scalable business model without ads, without overhead, that uses your story and your skill. And it is what keeps you from being in the business of being and doing what everyone else is doing and being and saying, because nobody else has your story plus your skill with the result and teaches it the way that you teach it. So if you go to YouTube, podcast, whatever, it's going to tell you about Fire Pit, which is my membership. It's going to tell you about a masterclass. It's going to tell you about every single thing I do is for this one woman to learn this one thing, to do this thing for their business. All paths always lead to Rome. All paths lead to Academy all the time. I do a bundle, I do a summit, I do a collaboration. I'm going to talk about my $97 offer or my membership. My membership is going to talk about Academy. My class is going to talk about the low ticket or the membership, or all paths always lead to the same thing for the same person, no matter where you come into my business. Now, there's skills that I have. I'm a psychic, right? I'm a business strategist, which is a skill. Being a psychic is a skill. Helping you see your purpose, helping you uncover your block, your shadow, your pattern, your programming that's holding you back from the life you want, the business you want, the money you want, is my skill. I don't lead with being a shadow worker. I don't lead with being a psychic. I lead with my story. My story was that I came from nothing. I had nothing. I had no proof of making this business work. And over the last 10 years, I have figured out how to alchemize every single piece of pain that I have been through, experience that I have been through to build a business from it. A business with a mission of helping other women who have walked this path change their lives by building businesses in this way too. And then we build into and layer into the business model your roots, your story, right? Your roots. Relationships, because what we do is we build the business with leads based on relationships, based on collaborations, based on getting in rooms and speaking and sharing your magic and sharing your knowledge, right? We layer in rest. The business model takes 90 days to build and 9 months to become and grow it as the version of you that needs to have it and hold it, right? But there's layered in rest. I have a lot of clients who are projectors, and that shocks a lot of people because they're like, a projector hiring a generator business coach? Yes. Do you know why they hire me? Because I don't teach you to do business in a way that works for me. We map in Academy what works for you. For some of you, it's going to be a YouTube or a podcast, or it's going to be face to cam video. For some of you, though, it's not like that at all. I don't teach traditional launching. I don't teach traditional steps in content. I teach you how to download and channel content through story to make it potent. Creating downloaded content, right? And we're going to talk about downloaded content. What does downloaded content mean? Downloaded from creator, source, God, whatever you believe in. You guys get downloads all the time. You're spiritual. I know you get downloads all the time, right? You get downloads all the time of ideas, of thoughts, even limiting beliefs. And I teach you how to turn those, plus the stories of your literal lived experience that you guys are living day to day, into content that actually converts. Okay. Now, that does not mean you're like, hey, I'm eating a Pop Tart for breakfast. Hey, I'm going on a walk now. It could be something like, on my walk, as I was walking through this path, I realized I had a download about this, which actually made me think about the one time that I helped a client do this, or made me think about the one time. And you tie it into your skill, or you tie it into what you do, or you tie it into what you're selling. That is how you create a full business, which is always speaking to this one person. You're always sharing these stories. You're always sharing content that's downloaded. I have a client who is a projector. Since working with me in 8 months, she's 4x'd her pricing on her one-to-one offer. I've never told her to up her pricing. She's done that on her own. She's been booked out in demand on waitlist for all one-to-ones. She dropped her first course. She makes course sales while she was traveling, while she was sick, in bed, sick, couldn't do anything. And she took 30 days off because she got a boob job. Okay. Then she does not run ads. She does not force and pressure herself to create content when she doesn't feel like it, because she's also a healer. She also has PTSD. And so we have a rule with her and how she runs her business is it's channeled, because she knows whenever I'm resting, whenever I'm taking care of myself, that is when I get all my best ideas. And I trust that that will come to me, and it will come in time that I need it. Now, I've also helped her create a plan for how to create content in the moment, even when you don't feel good, even when you're in bed. How showing women being a proof of your own work in real time, not being a polished version, not being a perfect version and always put together, but literally showing them the real truth of who you are, your actual lived experience day to day, and how you use your own methodology to change your own life is the content. That's what people want. Channeled content, downloaded content from the life that you're living, being a real human, speaking real English to people, and being known for one thing. That is how you turn your story into your entire business model. When you book collabs, it's about your story. It's about who you are and the path you've walked and how you use that to change lives. Your content is around how you change lives. Your methodology is walking through them, how to help them change their life, all in one. And that's what we do inside the Breadwinner Energy Academy. 12 months. In the first 90 days, we build your entire model out. We get clear and specific on your results and how to build your model and what should be at the top of your funnel. Should you have a free masterclass or a paid master? Like, all of the entire funnel, top to bottom, is built for you. And you build it out in 90 days. We give you coaching and feedback. And for the next 9 months, you grow it with relationships and rest and becoming the version of you that has it and holds it. Okay. Thank you guys so much for being here in this masterclass today. I am so grateful for every single one of you that come and watch my things, that listen to my podcast, they're in my world, who share with me that your life and your experiences and what you've been through and your magic and your gifts. Thank you for being here. And the link will be below for Academy. If you have any questions, reach out on Instagram at @itstaydaniels_LLC. And otherwise, I will chat with you guys soon.